they're an absolute contender to win the division. That bold declaration has the NFL on alert, as Jayden Daniels is being compared to a one-man wrecking ball. But one brutal obstacle could still derail Washington's Super Bowl dream.
I'm just kidding. The Eagles are great, man. I hate competing against them every year. Last team in this division, of course, is the Commanders. I have had so much fun watching Jayden Daniels on the Netflix show Quarterback, just kind of getting to know a little bit more about him because he's very reserved. So, Breach, I'll pass it back to you because that's the reason for optimism, is that when Jayden Daniels, is healthy, he brings a lot of optimism to the Commanders.
Yeah, I think that's why I picked this. I was watching Quarterback over the weekend. Jayden Daniels entertaining, Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward. It is a fun show. Make sure you watch it. But Jayden Daniels, he just adds this exciting element to the offense. We know how electrifying he is. You go back to his rookie year when he dragged that team to the NFC Championship. And when you look at the roster this year, they have a couple holes on defense. They kind of revamped everything on that side of the ball. They brought in a lot of new guys because of how poorly they played last year. And then you look on offense, there are definitely some talented players, but they still don't really have that number 2 receiver behind Terry McLaurin. Well, that's okay, because when you have Jayden McDaniels playing at the level he did in 2024, he can mask a lot of those small problems on the roster. So if Jayden Daniels is back 100% healthy on the field, then the Commanders are absolutely a contender to win that division title.
Yeah, they are going to expect to have 8 new starters on defense, so I'll focus on the offense. I feel like the offense got beefed up this offseason, and I'll start where everyone should start in football, the run game, right? You look at bringing in Rashad White and also drafting a guy in Kaytron Allen. That gives them that 1-2 punch of physicality. Then you could throw in Bill Krosky-Merritt as a change of pace guy. So I think the run game paired with a healthy Jayden Daniels is going to give you exactly what you need. I also love the fact they went out and signed Chika Okonkwo. They brought back Diami Brown. We saw Treylon Burks emerge as a significant option on that offense outside of Terry McLaurin. So I like the way the offense is setting up. This won't be an easy get for anybody in the league. Again, the defense just has to get. They were 39th in defense. They were below some college teams. All they got to do is get into the 15s range, and with this offense, I feel like they could be back in the mix once again.
I thought it was a joke. I'm no lie. I thought it was a joke. But unless we done gone to dinner and it's apologies left and right, it ain't happening.
Well, to add fuel to the fire, he said, right around the corner from Bro and Sis, shout out to Momager for the connection.
There's no way. Talking about Jayden Daniels' mom.
Correct.
Because Jayden Daniels' mom is Jayden Daniels' manager.
Yeah.
And Bro is Jayden Daniels and him played at Arizona State together.
Give me 12 hours. 12 hours. I'll let y'all know. 12 hours.
But we don't have a show for 72.
Well, they'll find out then.
So do you really believe, hold on, is there a possibility Brandon Aiyuk does go to the Commanders? Because you said with full confidence and authority is done.
Not from what I was told. I don't think so.
Damn.
I mean,
is he crazy enough to buy a house across the country?
I would like to see him play because he's talented.
Does he seem... Let's talk Brandon Aiyuk. Records himself speeding by the San Francisco 49ers stadium. Records himself pouring a duffel bag of money in his own closet out on camera. Records himself cussing out Jayden Daniels in so many words and talking about Jayden Daniels' mom. Buys a house in Washington, D.C. area. All but cusses out Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Allegedly blames Christian McCaffrey for fumbling in the Super Bowl. Does he have, in your mind, the mental clarity and function right now to still play in the NFL?
Yeah. I mean, he probably just trolling everybody.
It's a long troll, bro.
It is, and it's an unnecessary troll when you want to play in the National Football League
fair.
Again, even if you've apologized to Jayden and his mother, and you're Adam Peters, you want to risk your job for this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I ain't lying. Adam Peters, you do this, I'm on his ass. Because ain't no way you should be able to keep your job if you do something this dumb, if you Adam Peters.
You were in studio when Cam Newton had on Jason Whitlock. public enemy number one of Stephen A. Smith. And I believe you said, bro, why the hell, Cam, would you have on Jason Whitlock on your show when he is public enemy number one of Stephen A. Smith, and you do a show with Stephen A. Smith? Dan Quinn helped Kyle Shanahan get to his first Super Bowl as an OC when DQ was a head coach. Dan Quinn, head coach of the Falcons. Dan Quinn, how the hell, there's a theory, could you betray me? Like, you saw how he talked about me. You saw how he talked about my players. You saw how he talked about my locker room. You saw how he talked about me as a man.
Yeah.
And you finna acquire this dude?
But if the owners say, we're acquiring him, Dan Quinn gonna say, let's acquire him then. Because you gonna lose your job over the owner saying he wanting to acquire BA? Or you gonna say, okay, I'm gonna see if we can make this work? And so I believe this is, or will be if it happens, an ownership decision.
Yeah.
Not a general manager decision. And so I got to really correct myself, because if the Commanders do sign him, bless you.
Damn!
It is not coming from it is not coming
mid-segment, by the way,
from the general manager.
Sneeze detected. Sneeze detected. Yeah. Shame.
It was real quiet.
Tomatoes in the chat. Sneeze emojis in the chat for Sneezy Bear.
It is hilarious. Shout out to, that has to be a Taylor thing.
That was definitely a Taylor thing. 100% a Taylor thing. That was brilliant.
Revealing new graphics because of my sneeze and shit.
Bruh, you're horrible.
Kieran, let me ask you this last question before we move. You're the sports almanac in this room. Have you ever seen anything like Brandon Aiyuk's crash out, for lack of a better word? Have you ever seen anything like that?
I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff. I saw Antonio Brown play his career. So I've seen some crazy things. I've seen some crazy crash outs. I think right now it's appalling to me that he is moving the way that he is, but is also acting as if it is a foregone conclusion he is going to be a Commander this upcoming season. He's been talking as if he's going to be a Commander, and I've been saying maybe he just knows something that we don't. Maybe he's going to have us all be sitting here with egg on our face at the end of the day. I think it's crazy. I think how he's moved is absolutely crazy. I think it's a distraction that I don't want around my team heading into a season. But if he is a Commander this year, that changes, in my honest opinion. If you get back what you had in 2023 in BA, now we're talking about the Commanders as a real contender in the NFC East, and I don't think we're even going to be talking about how crazy the offseason was if he's actually out there producing. So I hope that for him, that's what it is, that he just knows some stuff that we don't, but I don't know. Trey, how do you feel?
I got to agree with you. Brandon Aiyuk knows something that we don't. We've sat here for weeks and speculated on his mental health and well-being, and I think it's been fair. You do things like speeding. You do things like dump a duffel bag of money. You may even do things like borderline disrespect Jayden Daniels' mother if you are mentally unwell. What you don't do if you're mentally unwell is buy a $10 million home in the state of Virginia. At some point, with that being as long and strenuous of a process as that can be, you're not just being mentally unwell and going out and spending that kind of money. He knows something we don't know, and I think it's going to come to light sooner than later. But
look, they're an absolute contender to win the division. That statement is putting the NFL on notice. Because for the first time in years, people are not talking about Washington as a rebuilding team. They're talking about them as a threat. And the reason is simple. Jayden Daniels, the rookie quarterback who shocked the league and dragged Washington to the NFC Championship, has completely changed the energy around this franchise. He's not just a talented quarterback, he's a football genius. He's the type of player who gives an entire organization belief. His ability to escape pressure, create explosive plays, and stay calm in impossible situations makes him one of the most exciting young stars in football. But Washington's biggest challenge is clear. Talent alone doesn't win championships. The defense finished 30th in the NFL last season, and the Commanders know they must improve quickly. The good news? They don't need perfection. They need Jayden Daniels healthy. They need the offense to continue growing. And they need the new defensive pieces to simply become average. Because with a quarterback like Daniels, average might be enough. And Washington didn't just hope Daniels could carry them again. They made major moves to build an offense around their young superstar. The Commanders understood one thing: a young quarterback needs support. So they upgraded the offense. Washington focused on the running game first. They added Rashad White. They drafted Cottrell Allen. They also have Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, bringing speed and explosiveness. The goal is simple. Make defenses defend everything. Don't let opponents focus only on Jayden Daniels. Then they added more weapons through the passing game. Chig Okonkwo gives Daniels another reliable target. Diami Brown returns. Treylon Burks has an opportunity to become a bigger piece of the offense. And of course, Terry McLaurin remains the leader of the receiver group. The biggest question is whether Washington has enough talent behind him. But when you have a quarterback capable of creating something from nothing, those weaknesses become much easier to hide. That is why analysts believe Washington could surprise the NFC East. Because this team is not built around being perfect. It's built around being dangerous. But just when Washington's future started looking brighter, a massive offseason controversy entered the picture. Brandon Aiyuk has become one of the biggest stories in football. And every new development creates more questions. His connection to Washington immediately created rumors because he played with Jayden Daniels at Arizona State. Then came the speculation, the social media posts, the controversial moments, and eventually, the biggest headline. Aiyuk reportedly purchased a $10 million home in Virginia. That decision made people wonder, does he know something the rest of the NFL doesn't? Some believe bringing Aiyuk into Washington would create unnecessary drama. They question whether the Commanders want that distraction around Jayden Daniels and Dan Quinn's locker room. But others see the football side. Because if Washington gets the same Brandon Aiyuk who dominated defenses in 2023, everything changes. Aiyuk, alongside Terry McLaurin and Jayden Daniels, would instantly create one of the most dangerous offensive combinations in the NFC. The difference between a playoff team and a championship contender could be one elite weapon, and that's why the Aiyuk situation has created such a heated debate around the league. Right now, the Commanders are one of the most fascinating teams in football, because everything starts with one question. Can Jayden Daniels stay healthy? If the answer is yes, Washington has a chance to shock the NFC. The offense has improved. The running game has more power. The young quarterback has already proven he can handle pressure. And if the defense can climb from 30th into the top 15, this team becomes a serious problem. Add Brandon Aiyuk into that equation, and suddenly Washington isn't just trying to compete with Philadelphia. They're trying to take over the division. The Commanders spent years searching for a new identity. Now they may have finally found it. Jayden Daniels is the centerpiece. The offense is becoming dangerous, and the entire NFL is watching. Because Washington is no longer waiting for the future. The future may already be here.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.